Hey everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of the Scratch the Track podcast presented by the Dude and Grim Show. I am the Dude.
And I am Grim, and we are here on this fine day to discuss Underneath the Rainbow by Black Lips.
By Black Lips. Black Lips? The Black Lips? Black Lips? The Black Lips?
I think just Black Lips.
Okay, it says The Black Lips on my iTunes.
Dude, I know.
There's also Smashing Pumpkins, The Smashing
I
Pumpkins.
know. I would add a the just because for some reason it feels like it's the correct thing to do grammatically, but I could be wrong.
Yep. Well, I think what we should do is we should have all the super fans out there listening right now go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment below. And when you comment below, let us know if you prefer Black Lips or the Black Lips. I mean, it's a controversy we've just started, I think.
Well, and it's not the first time it's come up. It's come up with other bands.
It won't be the last.
And you know, it's funny you bring up controversy because that is a big kind of part of Black Lips' sort of past and their
present, probably their future.
Yeah, maybe not even so much in the present, but boy, I mean. And I didn't really know about them. My wife, Lisa, kind of got me going on the Black Lips. I believe she's actually seen them live, which that sounds like an awesome experience. Dude, I have not.
I bet they put on a good-ass show.
Well, they do, as you'll hear. But they started in Dunwoody, Georgia, which I believe is outside of Atlanta. And as far as I know, there were 3 founding members. One of them unfortunately passed away, but Jared Swilly and Cole Alexander are like the 2 surviving main guys who I feel like are kind of like the backbone of the band. There's been some alternating cast members, but I don't feel like it's drastically changed their sound. I mean, they kind of are who they are. But then they had another guitarist, Ben Aberbaugh, who unfortunately passed away just before they were about to go on tour, like their first tour. And dude, they went on because I guess in their words, they felt like that's what he would have wanted them to do.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was killed by a drunk driver.
Yeah.
And they talked about like they were literally supposed to leave like that day or the next day to go on tour. And I think they met with Ben's parents, and it was one of those things where his parents were like, "No, he would want you guys to keep this going and do it." And they did it. And I mean, shit, dude, look where they are now. They're a very successful band. I mean, depending on how you measure success, but they're playing music for a living. So
yeah, if you can make a living at it, I'd say you win. I've always. Ever since I started listening to them, which has been many years ago now, I've liked them. They're just, they have like kind of a 60s garage rock vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Like they don't take themselves too seriously, but at the same time, they can have pretty poignant lyrics when they want to.
Sure.
Unfortunately, this is an album that was not really that highly rated. Like when I read several reviews of it, I think I had an article up from Pitchfork. They only rated the album at a 6.3. Now, I'm not going to say it's like a 10 out of 10, but I think it's a very good album. I've always enjoyed it. I can listen to it through. It's funny. They're just... I guess I like people that don't take themselves too seriously. And they most certainly do not.
Yeah, the thing that really stood out to me right away, one, this album's 12 songs, it's 34 minutes. A lot of the songs are real short, they're punchy, they got some really catchy riffs and just a lot of catchy tunes. And kind of like you said earlier, it has this, some of them have this real kind of 60s feel to it, but it's mixed. To me, it's like this 60s punk pop feel. Like
I know.
That's really what I'm getting. When I was listening to some of it again most recently, even I hear like raw power in there. I hear just different.
Oh, and
things
dude, you'll hear that
sounds.
even more as you like, expand, listening to more. Yeah, getting more in their albums. But they were kind of like at least Cole and Jared, the two main guys, were kicked out of school their senior year after the Columbine massacre because they were identified as being like the dark sub counterculture kind of kids, which is funny. Instead of being violent and shooting up a school, they decided to start like an awesome rock band, which I think is a better outlet.
Yeah, it is, and chalk going up to profiling, right? It's like, oh, you paint your nails, you wear black leather or black jeans, and black t-shirts. So obviously, we're gonna profile you.
Now, when they started, they weren't the best musicians, and they said they were kind of learning to play their instruments. Dude. And what I like is that they talk about some of their early shows being noted for things such as vomiting, which is part of Cole Alexander's medical condition, urination, nudity, electric RC car races, fireworks, a chicken, flaming guitars, and what else do you want? Yeah, kissing too. Yeah.
I mean, anything to just kind of distract the fans, but I think they even said in one of the interviews I watched, I don't know if it was one of the interviews or something that I read, that like their fans, especially at some of the earlier shows, would like throw beers at them, but they said it was like in a real loving way. Like it wasn't like, hey, we're like trying to throw throw beers at you to like hurt you and like whatnot. It was actually just kind of like,
maybe you'd want a beer,
showing respect. So
now I couldn't find this in the article, but and I would love it if there's some bigger fans, super fans out there, please correct me or give a link here. But I could swear that I watched a YouTube video where they discussed how they almost had their passports taken away from them and went to jail in India because of some crazy antics at a live show. I think it was India. But please, if someone, like, I don't claim to be an expert, but I'd really, if someone can shed some light on that, please do.
I remember them talking about, I saw an interview where they talked about Iraq. But they said that was actually, they were one of the first bands to kind of play there again. And a lot of people were like, oh, you're going there, like, be careful and everything. And they said they felt very, very safe. Mostly around, it was just kind of like families and teenagers, and they'd just never really seen rock and roll before. So they think they were mostly just like checking it out. Like, what is this?
And I probably get the feeling now that maybe they're not as much like pulling their peckers out or whatever.
Probably not, or vomiting or making out on stage. That would definitely be frowned upon in some of those countries. I mean, shit, it's probably frowned upon in this country in some states.
Yeah, I don't even think you can drink there.
Yeah, so.
But anyways, I would love some feedback
Insight
on that one, because I remember kind of like reading about them because I was fascinated with the idea of these live shows that were like so fucking insane. And I don't know. I just they have this DIY kind of like, if we don't know it, we'll figure it out kind of an attitude, and I think that there's something about that is that in itself is very kind of punk, and to me it's very endearing, because they've changed, but even now, like, they're on Vice Records, right? Or at least at the time of this, Vice Records still. But maybe Vice Records is like an affiliate of a big major label, but I certainly don't feel like at any point they fucking sold out to be on like a major label. I mean, the album that I have on vinyl of theirs, 200 Million Thousand, from 2009, is on Vice Records, and it's pretty fucking far from selling out to be on a major label.
Far from okay.
Yeah.
Marcellus Wallace was right.
Dude.
Well, in one of the interviews that I watched, critics, they kind of said to them, or the interviewer said to them, "Oh, critics have said that, you know, this album, Underneath the Rainbow, you guys are really entering your maturing phase." And they're like, "No, I don't think so at all." Yeah, no.
Dude, the second song is about spending the night in jail for doing stupid shit. So I don't really know.
And there's a couple of those songs on here. Now, there wasn't a ton of information out there, especially on the wiki. That's pretty bare. About the recording of this album. But I think in some of the interviews that I watched, they said that they recorded a lot of these songs live. And they would be in the studio recording up to like 18 hours a day. So they were pulling some tough days.
But I feel like that's kind of their style, like mainly live recordings with minimal overdubs.
I mean that makes sense. Because they just have that kind of just raw sort of gritty sound.
And dude, this is one of their more produced albums, and it still sounds like that.
Well, and you know, they recorded some of it in New York, but also in Nashville, which with
Patrick Carney.
You know, I'm sure Patrick Carney of the Black Keys.
Yes.
Or Black Keys, the Black Keys.
Again.
Yeah, who's to say? Also, did you hear that they wanted initially to enlist Phil Spector, but he was unavailable because he was in prison.
I could see that based on how their sound is. Dude, speaking of
wall of sound, man.
So speaking of Phil Spector, my favorite podcast, Disgraceland, the same guy, Jake Brennan, does another one called Blood on the Tracks, which is basically like the story of Phil Spector told from the perspective of people that knew him. That is worth a listen. It is dude, that guy was fucking crazy.
Dude killed his wife.
It wasn't, no, dude, that's the thing I always thought too. It wasn't his wife. It was some chick he like barely knew.
Oh,
he
so
just he just like got her to go home with him, and apparently just had an obsession with guns. But dude, aside from that, just look at pictures of him throughout the years and what happens to his hair. And I mean, he looks like a fucking alien, man.
Emotional haircut, man.
Dude, but in his case, it is not better than it used to be.
No, it's not. Well, moving on from Phil Spector, actually, I wanted to talk about the cover of this album.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. If you look at it, it's just a very basic cover. It's the four of them. It has a real red tone and everything. But the photograph was done by Mick Rock. And Mick Rock, he is actually a legendary, no pun intended, rock photographer. He's worked with Queen, David Bowie, Snoop Dogg, the Black Keys, Nas, Queens of the Stone Age. He was actually Bowie's personal photographer during Ziggy Stardust. And he created... Dude, he's the one who created the cover for Lou Reed's Transformer, Iggy Pop and the Stooges' Raw Power, and also for Queen 2, which is sort of Queen's iconic look where it's
that logo?
The four of them, where it's four faces. And that was also, the cover of that was kind of recreated for the Bohemian Rhapsody video. You know how when they're singing and everything. So, dude, very, very accomplished photographer. And when they were interviewed kind of about it, and basically, dude, they just emailed him, and he was like, okay.
I read,
and he spent most of the time like swearing and screaming at them, but they said he was pretty hands-on with the photography. So I was like, oh, that's cool. So
I like the cover. It's this very simple photo, but what I like about it so much is that Cole Alexander is front and center. And like these guys just seem kind of like goofy guys you'd want to like party and hang out with. But he's got a chain in his hand, like he is going to fucking whip you with it. And I just like that.
Well, the thing that I really love about the cover, and I think this is something that's captured in the photo, their music sounds like the cover. like, you know, or sounds and looks, or sounds like the cover looks.
Yeah.
So it's like if you want to judge a book or an album by its cover, like you can do that with this one. Like to me, like when I look at those guys, I'm like, wow, that's the kind of music that they would make is what I'm listening to.
Yeah, and it's awesome.
It really
I mean, I love it.
It's fucking great.
Yeah.
Dude, it is. So.
Now, one thing I think that's interesting is, so at this time they had a gentleman playing guitar with them by the handle of Ian St. Pay. And I believe if you look at the record, he is the one farthest to the right, I believe.
Okay. Yep.
Now, I read that he was actually a music major who was in college, and they called him up and were like, dude, do you want to go on tour with us? And he basically dropped out of fucking college being a music major, which if you think about being a music major and what that entails musically, and then playing with Black Lips, it's like such a fucking it's amazing. So I found that to be a really funny story.
I dig it. Well, Graham, I think it's about time we get into the tracks. What do you say there?
I think so, man. I think so.
All right. Track number 1, Drive By Buddy.
I love it, dude. It starts with a fucking alarm clock.
Dude, right?
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
I mean, not just because that's the first thing I heard, but to me, that was like, wow, that's just screamed out so like 60s psychedelia.
I know,
right?
it's
like,
just a weird way to start.
Alarm clock in it.
But I like, I really like the lyrics because it's like it talks about people maybe not being okay with sort of their station in life, or as they would say, the life that you chose. But I like it.
Chose me.
Yeah, but then they're just talking about it. If your butt's clean, it's all good because we're just hanging on a broken T-Bird hood. Like they're just sitting on a broken car, like kind of drinking beers and smoking and shit. Like that's the image I get of them in their leather jackets, you know?
Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah.
But I like the one where they talk the second verse where it's sister, what's the matter? Do you hate the light? But dude, I think see, some of these lyric sites get it wrong because I'm sorry. It's the pathway to your heart is straight up through your nose. Like you got to fucking bump a rail to get there. I like that imagery. The pathway to your heart goes straight up through your nose.
Dude, it is some great imagery right there. Like paint that picture, roll it up and smoke it. I think it's such a catchy tune. I mean, a lot of their tunes are. It has that grittiness and some crunch to it. Again, love the alarm clock and everything. And it's one thing that's interesting with not only this song but many of their songs is, and I will say it is the vocals. And I can't really tell sometimes if it's they just double his vocals.
I think it's several of them singing.
It's several of them together, right? Yeah, I
because
can't
sometimes I feel
vocals.
like Cole is the main singer, and his voice, as you listen to him more, like you could tell his voice as opposed to Jared's voice.
Yeah. All right, that makes sense then.
Yeah.
All right, Graham. Moving on. Track number 2. Smiling.
Dude, I love it. It's about like a night in jail for just doing stupid shit. And like, dude.
Yesterday we went too far. Like, no shit.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. It's like you woke up in jail and, oh, well, I guess we pushed I guess we know how far we can push it, huh?
So come on down, bail me out. Don't act too concerned. I love that.
Yeah.
And what's the other one? I won't sleep tonight because fluorescents burn too bright. Like they just even with like silly subject matter, I feel like they do a good job of writing lyrics that are poignant and not like idiotic. You know, they're not. They're funny.
Well, and kind of what I got from this and this album, and I don't, maybe this isn't 100% true because, but basically it kind of feels like they're talking sort of about like they are the high school dropouts and they're talking about things and incidents and stuff that they have. Now, I don't know how true to life a lot of this is. Maybe some of it is. I mean, I think
it's very true to life. Like there's a good video on YouTube that's called like neighborhoods or something. And it's Cole and Jared and the interviewer. And they're basically like, they're just walking around with them where they grew up and just telling them about like just the shit they did and what it was like growing up and why they are the way they are. But dude, I think all this stuff is pretty true. I mean, dude, how many kids do you know that actually got kicked out of high school in their senior year?
I don't know.
I know, like even you and I knew some kids who maybe you'd considered like more of the bad kids, but dude, they actually have a song on I think it's Good Bad Not Evil called Bad Kids, and they do like those call and response vocals, and somebody says spray paint, and then the response is a penis on the wall. Like dude, they're just fucking goofballs, dude.
And I think that's kind of what I sort of meant to say and kind of talk about was I feel like, and I don't mean this in any sort of critical or insulting way. I feel like a lot of their stories, at least in things that they talk about, are almost adolescent.
Oh, and
yeah.
For sure.
They do have a lot to do with kind of this time period in life of still being in high school and figuring yourself out, and or you are the dropout and you're like the older kid going to the high school parties and that kind of stuff. It just kind of has that feel to it.
Well, and it's funny because even though they're not in their adolescence, I think you could argue with the stuff that they've done just in being a band, like they still kind of have like a little bit of that. And there's a song that we'll get to where I read a review of this album. I can't remember which source it was from, but somebody said that this particular song sounded like it was autobiographical. And I read that and I'm like, dude, no shit. The whole fucking, like everything that they do is like,
yeah.
I was kind of like, wow, boy, real good pull there.
No fucking shit, lady. Does it sound like I'm ordering a pizza? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, exactly.
Fucking A, the gentleman has a major credit card.
You realize. Yeah. So, track number 3,
Make You Mine.
Dude, another really catchy song. And I'm not sure why this stood out to me. Maybe, dude, I think Wes Anderson would love these guys. Because if you, in his movies,
should be in his movie. Like, this song should be in one of his movies.
And for some reason, I don't know why it was this song that really kind of stuck out to me, but the scene in Royal Tenenbaums, I think they play the Ramones, and it's where Margot Tenenbaum is played by Gwyneth Paltrow, who haven't seen it, they're kind of going through her history of men, and she's like hanging out with people and making out with people, and then it ends, and I think it's the Ramones playing.
Dude, it is. It's scene. Judy is a Punk, which is a fucking great song too.
Yeah, and for some reason, I don't know why, I was like, I heard this song almost like, I could see that in one of his scenes or movies.
Yeah, I could definitely see that, and I think the thing is that this song could be used in a movie. It's not dark. It's not about like bad things. It's really kind of a sweet song, which is weird to say with black lips, but yeah. But you're right. It is catchy, and I like how the vocals flow together. Like how they stretch out when they say Saturday night. Like I like that.
Yeah. No, it has a hopeful feel of like kind of wanting to get the girl, I guess, is what I kind of felt. So all right, number 4, Funny.
Dude,
it does have that like it opens up with this drum beat, and I don't know, I feel like I've heard that before in something. There's something, and I don't know what it is, but it sounds really familiar to me.
Well, it's got that real slight delay to it.
Okay.
And that's you're right. It's not like something you've never heard, but just the way those guitars just kind of come in and they're kind of gritty.
So nasty and dirty.
And then the synth comes in when he's going to the choruses. I don't feel so corny now. I kind of like that. Like he's just saying, he's the dude who kind of is thinks that all this kind of fucked up shit is funny. But I just, I don't know. This one really, when I heard this one, I was like, this is an awesome song.
Dude. The one of the line when I was listening to it today, that's not, dude. I love you like an Eskimo hand grenade. Pull the clip, little baby. Let's explode today. It's like, wow, dude. I don't know what you're smoking, but pass it over here,
dude.
Like,
I could when eventually we're going to scratch 200,000,000, and when we do, I will pull out the vinyl, because instead of on the thing, instead of like the fucking lyrics, they just like write these stream of consciousness things about the songs, and dude, you will see what they're smoking, because it is amazing.
Do you have this on vinyl?
I don't. I want this one. This is one I've been looking for.
This would be a good one. Yeah.
No, I want this one too, but for some reason 200,000,000 has always been my favorite because of the song Big Black Baby Jesus of Today. Amazing song. So I had to get that one first, but I am going to get this one. But the line that always stood out to me, and in the video for this song, it's kind of funny because it says, like, were you riding, little lady? Come suck some milk from my titties. Like,
I remember hearing that line.
Weird, just a weird ass line. But I'm like, all right, man.
I did. Get on that train, take the ride. All right.
Yeah.
Track number 5, the Dorner Party. And when I first read it, I was like, "Oh, the Donner Party? Oh, okay. We're all cannibals." Or?
I'm glad you said that, because that is exactly what I thought, and I actually pulled up something about the Donner Party.
Yeah.
Because what is he?
Wait, is there some relation or no?
I don't think so, but there was just some weird. There was some lines in the song that would almost make me think maybe there was a relation. But there was
what this song presupposes is.
Maybe he did win. The one line that I think is weird is like, is this guy a ranger or a real cop? So it's like that's where I kind of got the thing about being out in the wilderness. I'm going out on my own patrol, kind of. I don't know. I don't know what it's about, but dude, for the longest time, I thought the title was actually Donner Party.
Gotcha. Yeah, dude, this song's really upbeat. I love the it's got a good punk feel. Some good riffs. It just moves, man. Yeah.
It's
a good one.
If you were gonna go next, you would say Justice After All.
Yes, I would.
Now, I don't really know what exactly this is about.
I got one for you, dude. All right, so. Okay. And this might be a little bit of a stretch, and I did kind of listen to both songs today, but when I first heard it and first listened to it, the intro sound reminds me a little bit of fucking Boris the Spider by The Who.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I can understand that.
And just when I heard that, I was like, man, you know, again, not saying anybody's like copying or stealing or anything.
Yeah, no. I can see why you say that, though.
It's probably, for all I know, it's different fucking chords, it's different everything. And even when I kind of listened to them sort of back to back, I was like, yeah, I mean, it's something, but it's not really. But when my ears first heard it, I was like, oh, okay, I kind of got it.
Yeah, so. and I don't. This is lyrically, I have trouble really following what it's about in a specific theme, but it's it's kind of just about like maybe social justice issues, but it's got a sound that I like. I think it's just a kind of a relatable, just solid rock song.
No, I agree. When I listened to it, I couldn't really discern like a sort of a story or any kind of thread. So,
but I think they use that term well. The way they work in with Justice After All into the lyrics, I think works for me. It makes sense in the context of what else they're saying.
Totally. It certainly does.
But, dude, the next one is Boys in the Wood. Now, I told you at the beginning that this group hails from Dunwoody, Georgia, outside of Atlanta, right? So this was the one where that reviewer said something about, could this be, like basically the Black Lips talking about themselves? And I'm kind of like, yeah, dude, no shit. They're just talking about drinking whiskey, Southern smoke. They're basically just talking about like that they were the bad kids getting fucked up. And I mean, like, to me, I always thought Boys in the Wood was autobiographical just because it's like that would be like their fucking
Boys in the Hood.
Well, no, but like their short name for Dunwoody, like the wood, like they come from the wood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I mean, even if you think Boys in the Wood, it's like what that makes me think of is like, dude. I mean, think about when we were kids, man, sneaking off into the woods, man, to like smoke some Swisher Sweets because we're bad.
Just hard like that. Yeah,
just raw like life. But one thing I like about this song is that like I think it was like during the chorus when everybody comes in, it kind of like turns into this sing along a little bit.
Them
you
boys are wild.
Yeah, maybe they're hanging out, just getting buzzed and just having a good time,
hanging on that T-Bird hood from.
But one thing is though is with this song is at the end I feel like they bring in some horns too. Don't they? I think they do, and that to me adds kind of a nice touch. I don't know if anyone's credited for that, but I swear I hear horns in the background there. I mean,
probably.
I'm not talking like Exile on Main Street horns, but there's
no Bobby Keys. Okay.
No Bobby Keys, no Dick Perry, none of that shit.
So now, kind of continuing off that theme is like waiting. So it talks a lot about like almost like they're just sitting in school, like waiting for what's next. Is because they make references to the teacher and the Pledge of Allegiance.
In the classroom. Well, and that's what I was saying earlier. Like some of their stuff it does have that teen adolescent angst, the rebellious, feel. And I just felt like this song was really kind of about them sort of being the outcasts in high school. Yeah. And then just kind of saying though, like, hey, there are some lyrics. I don't have the specific lyrics, but in general, it's kind of like talking to all the people, whether it's the teachers or the people in school or the families around. It's like, hey, there's these outcasts in high school. You're going to find them in your neighborhood. You're going to find them in your shed, but, you'd rather they be gone long forever, light and sound. If they had never existed, that'd be fine. It's like, we could do without you. That's fine. Yeah.
Piss off. Dude, and I like the next song, Do the Vibrate. I feel like the guitar part has kind of like that spy sound. Like that does. 60s kind of spy sound.
That's what I put in my notes. I was like, it almost like has this James Bond feel to it. Like,
and I like that, but I also like how you can hear, and dude, you can almost feel like the vibration that they recorded of like a phone doing that. But dude, when I heard that fucking line, put your phone in your crotch and put it on vibrate. Fucking, that is so funny. It's so funny, dude.
It is. And I could almost see them sort of being like the rebellious band in high school and playing this at some sort of like Halloween dance, and all the kids and teachers are there. Like sort of when I heard the song, that's the vision I got.
And when they do that, ow, that's when the vibrate, the sound of that comes in, and I like it because that sound, you can almost feel it. I think that's cool.
Feel the heat.
Oh yeah, feel the heat.
I don't want to go home. I don't wanna go home.
Yeah.
dude, bass and guitar. I don't know if it's the bass or the guitar, but dude, that
fuzz.
It's got some nasty ass fuzz.
Yeah,
I love me some fuzz with the buzz, man.
Yeah.
It's real nice. It is real nice. But again, it sounds like this sort of group sing along. I like how they kind of do that, and when they layer their lyrics, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, and again, it kind of continues with that theme of just like partying and doing stupid shit. Like, I don't want to go home. I want to stay out till the sun is bright. Well, I'm never acting grown. I'm going to do what makes me feel all right. Now I'm turning off my phone. I've heard it all and I don't want to fight. I mean, it's just, dude, I can't find the hotel. They're all gone. I'm here all alone.
Dude. The sun is up. It's way too bright, and I'm sick of being stoned.
Yeah,
yeah. It doesn't really get any more literal than that.
Yeah, I like it,
and you don't have to. So, all right, Dandelion Dust. Interesting.
Yes.
Title. I think this also has some real fuzz thumping to it.
Yes, it does.
Also, dude. They really utilize the tambourine. I have noticed they are
the background percussion, and dude,
I'm a big fan of it too.
I realized that when I listened to my favorite song of theirs, which I have already mentioned. Like, I listened to it the other day after I listened to this album, and dude, what made it for me was the percussion, like the drums and the shaker, dude. The shaker, like not
doof 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 doof
doof doof doof doof doof.
It's coming from the brain.
Coming from here. Yeah. The bass is coming from the brain.
So, yeah. So I did notice in this song that there are some screams that I would they're maybe Yoko screams, not a little light Yoko. I wouldn't exactly say Fiona Apple on Fetch the Bolt Cutters, but
okay.
But in that
like
area,
why,
in that
like
realm,
Yoko Why or Why Not song? Which one?
Oof, it's tough. I don't know. Toss it up, Grim. But I did notice that, and it's a little.
It's funny. I was actually going to make a Yoko Ono tie-in on the last song, which have you heard her song where she says, "The sun is down. It's getting so dark." No. It's amazing, dude.
It's amazing, dude. Sounds like it.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Give it a listen. It's, dude. When she makes the greatest hits, guarantee that song will be on there.
I hope so. I'm picking that up in 180 gram reissued definitive edition.
Oh yeah, get that on a fucking gold disc and put it in a goddamn time capsule.
Yeah, I'm going to get 2 copies. One will go in my safe, and the other I'll listen to. So
yeah.
All right. Last track of the album, Grim, Dog Years. Nasty.
One of my favorites, and dude, my favorite part is when he goes into almost spoken word. You came to the party and you stepped outside, and dude, his description of this is so fucking great. With you grabbed your Virginia Slim ultralight menthol 100s. So the long ones, Virginia Slims, are like 80s lady cigarettes. Like,
dude, do you remember at fucking Plums when we used to we were bag boys at a grocery store and we have to
go get the smokes.
You'd go get the smokes. And it'd be like, no, the hundreds. Hundreds. I want this. Yeah. And I was like, okay.
Dude, hundreds are odd when you look at the pack. They're just so much longer. I mean, it's like, and Virginia Slims, dude, they're like, it's like theoretically if someone were to roll a joint, but they roll a skinny one, but it's like 6 inches long. Yeah, but it's like 6 inches long, dude. They're so weird looking, especially the Virginia Slims. But I like when he says that
back to the song.
I was staring back at you in awe like some piece of cutting edge technological equipment. Like, that is a funny ass line to me.
He does,
like, I get it. Like, you see a flying car and you're just like, holy shit, I knew you were the one.
Exactly. You're the one. It's the whole thing, man. Oh, well, Grim, we are at the end of the album.
I know.
Whew. You know what that means. You know what that means.
I do. And what it means is, first, I ask you what your favorite song on the album is.
Fuck, I feel like it's lame because on the last one I was like, oh, I like the first song, and this one I do like the first song.
Dude, Drive By Buddy is a contender for me. Like, I could put it to 3 songs, and that'd be one of them.
It's just one of those.
It's an awesome song.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's the first one you hear, and it is so catchy.
It is.
So
yeah,
catchy.
I love those vocal lines. Oh, brother, what's the matter?
Right,
yeah,
right.
It's yeah, easily one of my favorites.
Yeah. So I mean, I do got to go with that one. So I went with that one.
Okay.
You.
I kind of have a hard time between Drive By Buddy, Funny, and Dog Ears. But dude, I guess I got to go with Funny because I just love that delayed beat and how thick it is, and when those guitars just
Dude, it is pretty fucking thick.
It just drives. It moves ahead.
It does drive. All right.
But since I think I scratched the last one, I think you are on the T.
On the T. B on the T. TD on the T. Oh, man. Well, unfortunately, I noticed that when we were going... Well, it's not unfortunate because it's just how I fucking feel. But when we were going through the list, you had a liking for this song, and I appreciate your appreciation for it.
I think I know what one you're going to say, and I have a hard time fighting you on it, but go on.
Okay, it's Do the Vibrate.
Yep, I kind of figured that.
I think the thing is, I think it's the vocals. I think the way he sings.
Yeah, it gets a little harsh. I know.
It does.
I really do like it, but I can see why. I'm definitely not throwing out a WTFITS on that one.
Dude, I never remember.
Because, dude, I was listening to this at spring break with my family, with little Lucy and Lisa and my mother-in-law Catherine at the pool.
The song comes on and people are like,
and I remember they were kind of like, I mean, this is fine and all, but maybe some a little less, like where they don't scream as much. You know?
Well, it's hard, man. I mean, to me, that's sort of the whole point of this game. I guess that's the track they would scratch because dude, that's track 9. It seemed like they were cool with 1 through 8, right? I mean, so I think that makes sense. It's telling. At the same time, if that's what's playing, it's like what is that song, like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes?
Yeah.
2.5.
But I get it. It's just
I do too, man.
It's kind of one of those ones where it can rub people the wrong way, which is funny given the nature of its title. Can vibrate people the wrong way.
You know what happens to the best of us. So, all right, your scratch.
Dandelion Dust.
Ooh, really?
I don't hate. Let me think about this. I got to think about that now.
Oh, well, shit. I thought you would have thought about it before we actually hit record, but I guess not.
Dude, it's like one of those. Yeah, fair point, but fuck off too. Because it was always.
I got it.
No, it's waiting. Sorry. That was an amateur move, but it's because to me it was always a toss-up between those two. And now that I think about it, I do love the kind of the driving,
dude, fuzz thumping, man.
Yeah,
fuzz thumping.
And waiting. It's not like I don't like that song, but I guess if I really have to come down to the two of them, that's where I'm going.
Right. Man, no,
I don't want to wait
today
for that song to finish.
No,
I mean I do, but
I am. Man, we should do a wait. We should do I Am Waiting by the Stones. We should do Waiting by the Black Lips, and The Wait by Built to Spill.
Well, that's where I'm saying I think we already have songs of the same name. I just think you do songs of the same name asterisk where it's like they're so close.
Yeah,
it's just okay.
We've been getting so many views on those episodes that
I know
we should branch off.
There is a clear demand for more.
Absolutely. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, pimps, players, and hustlers, thank you so much for listening to this episode. We think this is a great album. It's a great band you should check out if you have not checked them out.
Listen to the album.
You like this one, and then what's the other album that you're really into?
Dude, I like 200,000 Million, and I also like a lot of them. I don't want to sit here and
so he's a big fan. We'll just leave it there. All right.
I was thinking Let It Bloom. Sorry. I like Let It Bloom. That's and Satan's Graffiti or God's Art. Also a good one.
Oh, all right. So there's like 4. Awesome. Well, this one is called Underneath the Rainbow. And it's a good one. It's a quick listen. If you guys like punk, pop, some psychedelic tunes, then hey, check some of this out. Like it's pretty cool. Big fan of it. And man, the more I listen to it, the more I'm like, I feel like this would be a good vinyl purchase because
dude, I know
it has that scratchiness, that rawness to it that I feel really would come through.
I agree, and I want to say this, like, as much as I really like Pitchfork and respect them, sorry guys, it's better than a fucking 6.3.
What the fuck is that?
It is. Maybe we should do your reviews. Just saying. Call our agent.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you everyone for listening. Yeah, we'll be back next week with another hot episode. I have no idea what it is at this point because we are so out of order, but it's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we're good.
All right. Well, happy hump day. Take care. Time to go.
Dude and Grim
Show.
Scratcher Track is produced by the Dude and Grim. Additional music provided by Moore and the Tims. Copyright 2021. The Dude and Grim Show.
You count for nothing. I was born to succeed. Eating the ripest fruit, your plan